This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog with another weekly baseball observation. Let's start locally. I'm seeing a lot of Chris Bryant in the outfield, a lot of Chris Bryant batting second, a lot of Hayward leading off and playing center field, and a lot of Russell playing second base. If you can flash back to the days of Starlin Castro, Addison Russell was this great fielding shortstop that pushed Starlin Castro to second base. It wasn't that Starlin Castro wasn't a good defensive shortstop. It was that Russell was just so superior defensively, and they're like, he's younger. We're going to eventually probably trade Starlin Castro. So that's what happened. And now Baez filled in last year when Russell was out, and so far this year too. And I know Baez is a natural-born shortstop, but he can smoothly play third base, left field, and second base, and even first base occasionally I've seen him do. So what would be the problem of just making Baez the everyday shortstop? Because your other options have been utility player Descalso, career minor leaguer David Bodie, and other utility players as well. So it's like, it's not really like a set in stone position. So it's like insulting to Adam Russell, who could probably win a Gold Glove as shortstop every year, that he's playing second base. They should just try to play him more often. Descalso's a backup. Maybe see Descalso play first base if Rizzo takes a day off or Zobrist at first base. But what I'm seeing is Chris Bryant's also playing some first base. So the thing is, Chris Bryant in the corner outfield and first base. He's your franchise player. There's no need to play Bodie at third base. You can play Bodie at second base. You can play Bodie at first base. Throw him in the outfield. He's not like the franchise player. And here's a bright idea. Kyle Schwarber's a bad defensive outfielder. If Anthony Rizzo has a couple days off and he's not playing first base, depending on the matchups or wherever's up with him and sore, play Kyle Schwarber at first base, not Chris Bryant. Now with the Orioles, they've been batting Trey Mancini, their best offensive player, second, playing him in right field, just bat him third, have him play left field if you have to play him left field, if there's no room at first base or DH. And Wilkerson's an infield prospect, play him at second base. I don't need to see Hansel Alberto, a career backup from the Rangers, playing second base. Let VR play shortstop and have Wilkerson play second base. Bada bing, bada boom, fix it. And if you're going to play somebody center field, and it's not Cedric Mullins, Dwight Smith Jr., he's been playing well. He should be getting an opportunity in center field. Joey Rickard. It seems like they don't know what they're doing. The Angels continue to bet Andrelton Simmons and Brian Goodwin in the middle of the order and not, one or two, or at the bottom, a lot of Mike Trout batting second. And they're still playing Zach Kozar at third base. When I've seen the guy who they said would be playing second base, Mr. Fletcher, he's playing left field, third base, first base besides second base. And they're playing backup Tommy La Stella. Tommy La Stella's a backup. He can play anywhere. He used to come in at third base for the Cubs when Bryant was injured sometimes late in games, a defensive replacement, so he could play third. He needs to play Zach Kozar at second base because he's going to keep getting injured playing third base. And then the Blue Jays, they used the reliever to open a game this week when they have 3 starters on hand. Top seeing Randall Grichuk in center field, Brandon Drury bat leadoff, play second base, play right field. You need to make a decision. Guerrero, is he going to be your everyday third baseman, or is he going to be your first baseman DH? Once you make that decision, Brandon Drury should play the first base or DH spot. Riley Tillis is not an amazing player that you're going to have to, play him every single day and have to play Drury at second base and right field when you have Urena and Gurriel prospects in your system that can play middle infield. It's nice that Galvis and Sogard on your team, but those are backups. We're talking about this day, moving forward. And you called up one of your outfield prospects, so just play him every day in center field. You sent out Teoscar Hernandez. Maybe try Billy McKinney in center field. Stop playing Grichuk in center field. Red Sox, stop using Benintendi leadoff. It's either Mookie Betts or one of your second basemen. Somebody's got to bat leadoff, just not Benintendi. He's great in the 2 spot. Mariners, stop batting Mitch Haniger leadoff. Try Malik Smith. Try D. Gordon. Stop playing Mitch Haniger in center field. He's not a center fielder. He's a good defensive right fielder. Then the Yankees. Why do I see DJ LeMahieu and Luke Voigt batting 1 and 2? Brett Gardner's been batting leadoff for a long time for them. It doesn't make any sense. Luke Voigt should bat in cleanup. LeMahieu could bat second, maybe even 5th or 6th. Maybin's not playing center field. Maybe you should, because Gardner is not a world-class defensive center fielder like Cameron Maybin is. That's his most value there. Marlins, stop playing Brian Anderson in the outfield. Stop playing this Rosiel Herrera in the outfield. He's a backup. Stop playing Miguel Rojas every day. Either play the youngster JT Riddle, play another youngster in your system, or play Starlin Castro as shortstop. And then the Rangers, now that they sent Delano DeShields Jr. down to minor league, stop playing Joey Gallo in center field every day. Okay? There has to be a system that he can play left field most of the time, or DH, okay? Hunter Pence and Spencer Chu have been known for good defensive outfielders that they don't need to play DH. Ronald Guzman's back, fine. First base is not an option. But you should play Joey Gallo at DH and left field as much as possible. He's not a center fielder. Danny Santana, he's got a lot of career innings in center field. Try him there. They just called up Willie Calhoun. Willie Calhoun is an infielder turned outfielder. He could be like the Astros' Tony Kemp. He could be like Mookie Betts. He could be any number of these infielders who are playing the outfield. He's young. You just want his bat. See if he can handle center field, and then right there, if Willie Calhoun is known for his hitting and he's not a great fielder, well, you have him stay in center field, and then late in games, you call somebody else in. It's better to play a youngster Willie Calhoun or a guy who's been a career outfielder than to keep playing Gallo in center field when he's not a career outfielder. He'll be remembered as a slugging DH first baseman, not an outfielder. And then the Phillies stopped batting Andrew McCutchen leadoff and asking to play center field. They're using backup Phil Gosselin in the outfield when Sean Rodriguez has more career innings in the outfield than Gosselin. And the Royals keep using Ian Kennedy as reliever when they don't have enough starting pitching. They first said Whit Merrifield's going to not play the outfield to avoid injuries and then not move him around as much. That's a smart idea. Whit Merrifield's been proven that he's a good everyday second baseman. He doesn't need to play everywhere else. You have Dozier at third base. You have O'Hearn at first base. You got Mondesi at shortstop. And you have Soler and even have Bonifacio and Brett Phillips in the outfield with Alex Gordon and Billy Hamilton. You don't need to play Whit Merrifield in the outfield. But they decided, nope, we're now going to call up this prospect of ours who is a second baseman, and we're going to throw Whit Merrifield in the outfield. They don't make any sense. They make an announcement earlier in the week, then they take it back. They're really stupid. And the Cardinals still have Goldschmidt and Carpenter batting 1 and 2, and now they decided that they're not going to play Bader O'Neill in center field. They're going to play Fowler in center field. Fine, get mostly return on investment. Jose Martinez has made some really bad defensive plays in right field. I would rather him in left field than have Marcell Ozuna play his natural position. But I guess they're just going to have They're going to have Dexter Fowler move to the corner spot late in games and have Bader come in. Not give Bader full opportunity. That's fine. Pirates, best player Marte is batting second. Silly. Padres, stop having Framber Reyes bat second. He's a power guy. You want your best offensive players all at the same time. Stop batting Ian Kinsler leadoff. You have Manuel Margot. They just called up Dickerson. Let Dickerson play center field. He, Jankowski, and Cordero and Margot are center fielders by trade. Stop playing Will Myers in center field. Just have the best offensive lineup. And too many of the starting pitchers that you can name on the Padres are all in their bullpen, which again makes no sense. And then the Indians stop batting Lindor leadoff. There's no reason to bat Bowers in the outfield anymore. You have Cargo. You have Jordan Luplow. You got Leonis Martin. And you just called up one of your young players. There's no need for Bowers by the outfield. There's no Hanley Ramirez or Brad Miller on the roster anymore. Braves, they're batting Acuna in center field and having him lead off. No. If Ender Inciarte is injured, try Ozzie Albies, try Dansby Swanson, Johan Camargo, try somebody else. Acuna's the middle of the order guy. He's like your best player overall and all the skills he can do. He's not a center fielder nor is he a leadoff hitter. The Dodgers, they keep batting like Jock Peterson and Justin Turner and Max Muncy, top of the order, instead of batting the utility players like Taylor and Kiki Hernandez in the 1 and 2 spot. The Twins keep having Kepler lead off. Plus, they have him playing center field a lot. And that's fine. But he's better suited in right field. And then they have Marlon Gonzalez, utility player, playing the outfield. Now that Miguel Sano's back, Gonzalez doesn't have a specific spot on the team. So, you know what? He's a backup. Throw him in left field, move Rosario to right field if you have to. But playing Gonzalez in right field is not the greatest idea. And the Rays batting Diaz leadoff, having Jalen Beeks pitching out of the bullpen but not starting when they just lost Tyler Glasnow. You have Jalen Beeks, Jacob Faria, use them. To start to think these openers are silly. Diamondbacks continue to use Blake Swihart in the outfield when he could play first base or third base in some games. The Nationals are taking a Gold Glove outfielder, Geraldo Parra, and having him start at first base because they're full strength in the outfield now. The A's have used Hendricks as an opener. Hendricks is a former starting pitcher. You could just have him go 4 or 5 innings, whoop-de-doo. And they're playing Cannon in the outfield after they just said goodbye to Kenneth Morales, who got traded to the Yankees. And the Tigers are using Nico Goodrum at first base. And most of the Tigers lineup, outside of Nicky Castellanos, Jacoby Jones, Miguel Cabrera, and Grayson Griner, the catcher, and if Harrison or Mercer are healthy at a time, and Candelario, is like a mixture of backups playing the infield, playing the outfield. It's a good idea that they're now using Nico Goodrum and some utility players at the top of the order, and they dropped Castellanos and Candelario to the middle of the order, but now they also send Candelario down, so again, there isn't that much of everyday players. The Tigers should just play all the guys who have promise. They don't need to play utility guys all the time. Play guys who are going to have promise. A second base, shortstop, in the outfield. Figure it out. Who's the guy that's going to be everyday player, not utility player. And then the Rockies, if you're not playing Ian Desmond in center field, just play Ramel Tapia at his natural position or shift Charlie Blackmon back. It's not an insult on David Dahl. It's just he's not the world-class center fielder. He's a good outfielder. He's just not a world-class center fielder. Okay, and that was Week 6 baseball observations from Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog. See you next week.